What's up, guys? Good morning. Yeah, we needed that. Funny story. My girlfriend just hears me talking about way too much Pokemon, so she now calls these Vivid Voltage Mountain Dews. I think that's funny. Also, Mountain Dew, bring back Spark. Okay, guys, this video, it's gonna be a recap of last video because my goodness, that video went amazingly. I love it. Thank you for all the amazing feedback. And luckily, you know me, I just kind of leave this stuff up. So we still have the whiteboard up with everything on it. And I've got some notes. This is definitely gonna be more of like a ranty video. So you can honestly probably listen to this as like a podcast. I got a few things here I want to go over. Basically, we're gonna go back over the tier list. And after the amazing feedback I've gotten, we're gonna see if there's anything I would change. But before that, there's kind of two things I want to talk about. And that's confidence and risk tolerance. First of all, shout out to this guy. Don't worry. I didn't even talk about MetaZoo. I think that guy was I think he lost a lot of money in MetaZoo or something. Buddy, whoever, God bless that guy. Send that guy the best warm wishes. We wish him the best. So, before we get to the tier list, right? Confidence and risk tolerance. Let's talk about risk tolerance first. This isn't for everybody. I don't think most of you watching should do this. I think maybe 10% of the people watching this. Oh, maybe not, because it's already a pretty niche thing. If you're even watching it in the first place, you're probably... It's still even... I'd say 20% of the people watching this should actually get into this. Now, that's not saying that you shouldn't have fun with this. You know, play the games as you would. But they should probably just stay games to you. And I thinking about it any more than that might just hurt your brain a little too much. And we don't want that to happen. So, it's just... Some people just don't have, like, they just want to put their money in, like, and trust me, dude, I totally get it, right? Like, you know, just put it in there, let it make its dividends, let it, you know, make your 5% a year or whatever, get your interest back. You know, I totally get it. Nothing, like legitimately no sarcasm, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, if that's how you want to live your life, that's how most people want to live their life, right? But for some of us, I almost like to think of it as, and I hate to compare this to Rick and Morty because I hate most people that watch Rick and Morty, but the episode where they go to like the Dave and Buster's essentially whatever, and they do the Roy or whatever, and they put the helmet on and they're like in the game playing Roy or whatever, and like when Rick plays it, he's like, they're taking Roy off the grid. That's kind of how I want to live my life. I've only got one go at this in my eyes, you know, God willing, you know, whatever's going on up there. But at the end of the day, I've only got one shot at it here, right? And I want to have as much fun as I possibly can while being responsible, right? So I love a good amount of healthy risk. Now, this is also, here's a little philosophical thing for a lot of you. Maybe this will help you out in your life. I'll give you free counseling because I got to go to it, but it was paid for by work, so don't worry. So I have ADHD, if you guys can't tell. And I don't take Adderall or Vyvanse anymore because it just makes me tweak out. But like, I would basically do a lot of high stakes gambling. Wasn't like crazy, like, you know, like undegenerate, like selling my car and shit, right? But like, I was doing like some insane high stakes gambling, and just very high volatile like crypto shit, right? And like, I was like, do I have like a gambling addiction? Like, I was trying to figure out like what was going on. And it turns out that my ADHD, the only thing that kind of like gets my body to respond to like pay attention is like either like extremely high stress or like extreme, like it basically has to be extreme of something on the spectrum for like it to actually like get my brain's attention, right? So like I have to basically like be gambling people's net worths to like get my brain to care about it, right? So maybe if you have that issue, it might be your ADHD. Something to look into. So I have a very high risk tolerance. Now I was thinking about, you know, what makes a risk tolerance dangerous or just self-destructive, I guess, versus one that's like not, I guess. And I think it really comes down to confidence. And that sounds weird, right? Because you can think that your confidence could be your downfall. But the way I see it, and I guess my example is, I'm confident in myself to know that if it did all come crashing down, I'd be able to just kind of uproot and go to another thing. And my example of this is, so I'll kind of give you guys a little quick story about my life. So like, many of you know, I was a GameStop store manager. And this was in Kansas City. So I did that, you know, for like 3-4 years, and basically just didn't want to live in Kansas City anymore. Just didn't want to work for GameStop anymore. This was a very dark time for GameStop. This was like basically like everyone thought that they were going to go out of business. And so I was like, you know what? I had met a bunch of friends off World of Warcraft, and I was like, I'm going to move to California. I'd saved up money, and I quit my job, and I moved up to Cali. Now, here's the difference, right? There's two types of people who do that, right? There's the ones who do that, and then they end up bums on Venice Beach, right? And then there's me, who I had the confidence, I knew that I had the job skills, and this is why I cannot stand people who are like, oh, I can't find a job in California. Oh, I couldn't find. I can't. You guys couldn't tell I can't stand California. I was only there for like 4 years. So I get there, and within 2 months, I've already got a job at Best Buy, and then, you know, I've already, you know, within like 6 months or whatever, worked my way up to like the head Apple guy. So basically, I have the confidence that if all of this went up in smokes, I would just go get like a sales job somewhere or something. I could go make $90K a year, no problem. So I think that's why I don't really have like any worry about any of this, is because I have confidence in my abilities as a person and in my life, that I know that, well, I'm just not worried. Like, I see so many comments, like I'll kind of throw one up here, right? Or I don't really know if I like that one. But basically, there's people who they can't even comprehend putting any type of like wealth or like basically putting any bit of their life and putting their life into like cardboard. Like, they can't comprehend that. And that's totally fine, right? Because the truth is, sorry, I'm thirsty. It's also like 5 a.m., so I need energy. The truth is, if everybody did this, it wouldn't work. And I've said this before. The only reason Pokemon, and mostly Pokemon, again, this stuff's mostly a gamble, but the only reason that Pokemon, we'll say specifically, cardboard sealed investing works, is because I could literally show the data to somebody. I can literally be like, here, look at it. It all works. And they literally will go, nah, I'm good. I don't, this is my favorite thing. It goes up until it doesn't. Duh. What? Like, oh my God. Duh. So before I start this, I basically just want to say, this isn't for you guys. It's not for you. And if it is for you, you'll know it is. And when I say it's not for you, you'll know that this isn't applying to you. But this isn't for you. Now, onto the list. And here's a little exhibit of my confidence. After watching, or after all that amazing feedback from I got on that video, what would I change? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. And in fact, I'm just going to kind of touch a bit more on, well, I would maybe move Fab to C, but I'll keep it in B. All right, let's start with the bottom here. This is, favorite comment. I'm going to throw up some comments I got. We're going to go on to the tier list now. Sorry, thank you for making it through that rant, but hopefully you got something from it. The one dude, he was just like, dude, straight wrong about Star Wars. my favorite part is that, and this is how you know, this is like a little kind of, little something for you guys. If you put out your idea and you get a bunch of negative feedback, but none of that negative feedback is actually addressing your statement in any like way, it's just like attacking you as a person or other things, or just kind of flat statements, you know you've won, because, or you're just dealing with idiots, because no one's actually addressing a point you've made and challenging a point. They're just shouting. So when that happens, you know you're doing something right, because no one's actually attacking your ideas. They're just attacking you. So that's usually a good sign that you're onto something good there. So Star Wars, again, I mentioned how Fantasy Flights is a terrible company. I've mentioned how they've already screwed up the second print run and how they're, struggling to get to stores and all that. I talked about that, right? And what feedback do I get? Amazing feedback. 10 out of 10 feedback. Well put, sir. Well put. I did like this one guy's comment, though. He seemed a little more self-aware. Okay, I do want to talk about... Okay, so if you guys remember in the last video, I talked about how I haven't seen Flesh and Blood anywhere at any of these stores, right? And one guy commented how One Piece is everywhere. And that I will completely agree with. Is One Piece is everywhere. It's at every shop I go to. Now here's the Bandai problem, though. So this is why I'll tell you why. There was one deciding factor on why I put One Piece in B tier and not A tier. And it's because every previous set was selling out at pre-orders because they weren't printing enough, right? But the FOMO and the hype was there, and that's what was kind of making these crazy prices. Guess what? I can still go online. I probably could throw it up right here. I can still pre-order these for like $150. That has not been the case with any set before this. So that's telling me, oh, they finally, like, the prints, it's all kind of caught up now. The tendies are over. So it is what it is, right? Like, it's gonna be like Yu-Gi-Oh now. They're still gonna print sets. It's still gonna be playable. It's not collectible. It's not investable. Don't do it. You can if you want to. I'm not. It's not bad, right? It's like One Piece is an amazing IP. I'll give you that, right? But I don't. Oh, speaking of Flesh and Blood, also, Wang TCG, don't trust that guy. I think he's already been kicked off a TCG player. Dude's a scammer. So I had a huge misfail order get canceled. But luckily, the prices dropped to like $75 a box. So I just bought more then. But I did get some of them, and we opened one. And we hit a cold foil. What is this, like the Fable, the Miscloak Goalie? So I thought that was cool. I'm telling you guys, I got the luck. Now this was only like I think it's like a $130 card now, like a $100 card. It was like $400 on release. Also, I know I talk bad on Magic collector products, but I was able to get these for like $18 a box. I should say $18 a pack. There's one pack in here, but Ixalan's a really popular set, and so I was able to get these like collector packs for $18 a pack. So I think they're like 30 or 40 online. So I think Bloomborough is going to be a huge deciding factor for MTG. Sorry, I'm just ranting now at this point. Mostly just letting you guys know that I'm not changing any of this. This is the only one that's really up for debate, just because we know nothing about it. But other than that, I'm super solid. Oh, I just have to gloat real quick. Pokemon. I told you guys I had to get more Twilight Masquerade. It's really getting harder to get now, though. But I think I have one more box coming that I was able to get for taxes and shipping everything. It was like $108. But they're like at $120 now, $125, that's okay. Here we go. You know, if you made it through everything, I told you guys like months ago, Pokemon. the whole like $80 boxes and stuff in low 90s, it's over. It's done. Look at Obsidian Flames. Has anyone seen that? What the hell's going on with that? It is what it is, guys. These boxes are MSRP 160. Stores and everyone will realize like they don't have to sell them this cheap. People will buy them anyway. So, anyone remember that one guy in the Discord who was talking about how he was gonna pick up Twilight Masquerade in like a year from now for way cheaper? Man, sucks to be that guy, huh? Oh well, hey. Have a great day, guys.